Hello, my name is Paul Frey, and today I'd like to talk to you about using the ISO 9001 Quality Management System as a strategic plan for building a more profitable, more efficient, world-class business. Today's topics will include change our way of thinking, return on the investment we're going to have to make. We'll go over a short ISO overview so we understand what this is about, and then we'll talk about the goals, the benefits, and the advantages of becoming ISO certified. It's time to start changing the way we. Let's talk about what the management system is. Firstly, the management system is an excellent foundation on which to build a better business. Secondly, the system is a management tool that has become accepted worldwide as a de facto baseline for minimal system operating requirements. And thirdly, it is also the organizational structure, responsibilities, procedures, processes, and resources for implementing system management. Whenever we look at the management system, we have to look at it as though the title was the business or operational management system for it to have any value from a business or operational perspective. We are not talking about a quality control or quality assurance system here, but we're talking about total operational management. The ISO business or operational management system deals only with the operational side of the business, not the financial side. However, it's very important to use financial data in order to help determine the direction of the organization. As you can see from this slide, every organization has two sides. One is operations, the other is finance. The operational side of a business includes distribution, customer service, sales, marketing, quality control, quality assurance, manufacturing, shipping, receiving, material handling, storage, warehousing, all those items necessary to produce product or service for our customers or clients. On the other hand, we have finance. Finance handles the money. Make sure deposits get where they're supposed to, make sure checks get written, bills get paid, ledgers get completed, and all the necessary things so we know where the money is going. Now remember two things. One, finance contributes nothing to the wealth of the organization. Absolutely nothing. Operations, on the other hand, contributes everything totally to the wealth of the organization. The standard defines, outlines, and categorizes all the good business practices that are normally necessary to help a business become more profitable and more competitive. We need to approach this new methodology with a completely different attitude than we've had in the past. What may have been acceptable business practices a few years ago are no longer going to work for the small to mid-sized organizations. We are no longer competing in a local marketplace. Everything we do is predicated on a global marketplace, and we have to start thinking accordingly, or we are not going to be in the competition. The remainder of the slides contain information that is enlightening to those organizations that are contemplating changes in the way their business is conducted. Let's talk about return on investment. This is always a good one. Last company I was with, we had to obtain metrics when we'd complete projects to show that we were adding value to our clients' base. Okay, out of the last 10 companies I did, we increased their sales by $41 million. So we took 15% of that as profit and showed a $6.2 million gain. We reduced labor costs by $1.7 million, reduced material costs by almost $3 million, and reduced inventory costs by about $1 million. The total gain for the 10 companies was almost $12 million. Average gain per company, $1.2 million. Now, the average investment per company was $73,000 each. This includes internal and external costs. Most people don't even think about external costs, but they are probably equal to, if not greater, than the external costs. External costs are your consulting fees and your certification and registration fees. The rest of the money is spent on internal expenses that people typically don't account for. Anybody working on a project is putting in time and effort. You have tasks to do, there's assignments, and it all has to be done within certain time frames. So they're expending time, which is money, on the ISO project. So this includes internal costs. Now, if you divide the 73 into $1.2 million, you're going to come up with a return on your investment of about 16 times, which is not a bad return. There are definitely long-term financial gains waiting for the organization that goes through the implementation process and becomes certified. Let's do a little overview so we understand this. Okay, the official name is the International Organization for Standardization. Now, the objective was to facilitate worldwide coordination and unification of industrial standards. In other words, let's level the playing field so anybody that wants to compete can compete. When you used to travel in Europe years and years ago, there were times when you'd have to change trains because the width of the track was different from one area to another. That got taken care of through ISO standardization. Now, the width of the track or the gauge is the same no matter where you go. Look at cargo containers. You see them on the roads, you see them on ships, you see them on rail yards, in rail yards. Anybody, anywhere in the world can make a cargo container as long as they're making it to an ISO standard, because the standard will ensure that all the dimensions, all the materials, all the construction is uniform. So anybody, any place can make a cargo container and sell it to anyone, any place, and it can be shipped anywhere, anyhow. It can wind up on a truck, it can wind up on a rail car, and it can wind up on a ship. It can wind up in a yard sitting there. They're stackable. They lift the same way. They can be picked up the same way. So again, the level playing field concept. Now, this International Organization for Standardization was created in 1947. 40 years later, they released the first ISO quality management system, and that was based in part on the old U.S. military MIL-Q 9858 procurement standard. Now, what is the ISO QMS? Well, it's a generic baseline of standard requirements. These standards apply uniformly no matter where you are. It's not country specific, it's not product specific, it's system specific no matter where you're located. Wide-ranging applicability. You can be a company of 4 people, you can be a company of 400,000 people. It still fits. How we do it's going to be a little different, but it still fits. You can be a not-for-profit or you can be a for-profit. It fits. If you're a for-profit, you're looking for cost reductions, more return on your investment. If you're a not-for-profit, you're looking to provide more and better services or products with less cost, so you can provide more and better for your client base. Now, it defines the basic minimum requirements that everybody has to meet in order to become ISO certified. And depending, it could be anywhere from 240 to 280 different requirements that you have to meet in order to be able to be certified. The standards are generic. They do not apply to specific products. They don't apply to any products. They apply to a system. You're certifying your management system. That thing that runs the operational side of your business. That thing that makes you better than the guy down the street. That thing that makes you better than the guy 2 states over. That's your competition. If you want product certification, you get a CE mark, which is the international approval mark, or in the United States, you get an underwriter's lab mark. In Canada, you get a CSA mark. Those are all product certifications. We are talking a system here. Now, the industries included under ISO are hardware, software, processed materials, batch processing, continuous processing. Doesn't make any difference. Think about your tap water. That's a continuous process. Yes, your municipal water company could become ISO certified. Services, doctors, lawyers, pet groomers, barbershops, anybody can be ISO certified. Large and small firms, I mentioned before, 4 people, 400,000 people. There are domestic, international, and governmental applications for ISO. No matter where you go, no matter who you talk to, it will apply. Now, the standards specify what a system will include, not the how to put it all together. That's where you and your consultant can get very, very creative in making sure that you meet the requirements to your best advantage. Not to somebody else's advantage, but to your best advantage. Now, why do you want to standardize? Could standardization help your business in the following areas? Let's look at processes. You say, well, every process is different. There's different words, there's different steps, there's different places. Yes. Let's talk about the format for presenting the information. If you have a standardized work instruction or a standardized procedural document and they look the same no matter what the process is, it's easier for people to pick up on the information they need. If they have to look in different parts of every document to find out what they need, it becomes confusing and it is not effective and it is not efficient. So we set up standard templates to document what we need to tell people. How about products? Standardize your products. Make it easier for you or your services. I worked for a trucking company. We estimated we could run our truck line over a year and never build the same truck twice. We're not in business. Went out of business years ago. How about your equipment? The less variation you have in your equipment, the less parts inventory you have to maintain, the less downtime you're going to be faced with, because you'll have a small parts inventory and that parts inventory will fit most of the applications you have. So when you're starting your business or working your business and making it more efficient, more effective, look at your processes, look at your products, and look at your equipment and try to standardize this as much as you possibly can. What are some of the goals? Two big ones. ISO stresses customer satisfaction, continuous improvement. If you are focused on those two items, chances are you're going to have a great business as time goes on. Your customers aren't going to be looking around for another supplier because you're keeping them happy. They know that if you're ISO certified, you are continuously improving your processes, your products, and anything to do with them. So they're happy. They're not looking around for another supplier. Now, another advantage is defect prevention. It is much cheaper to prevent defects than it is to repair defects. Another advantage is a reduction of variation, because when you reduce variation, you automatically reduce waste. Now, it also provides a comprehensive, simple structure for quality systems. You have one system, whether you're the supplier or you're the buyer. It makes no difference. And it also provides a method to continuously help meet customer needs, expectations, and requirements. You can meet requirements every day of the week, every order, and lose customers every day of the week and every order because you haven't met their needs, nor have you met their expectations. When people come to you, they need something. And in a lot of cases, they don't know exactly what they do need. So it's incumbent upon you to talk to your potential customers, especially on an initial order, to make sure that you totally and completely understand their needs and what they expect when they get this product or service. You can meet their requirements, but you better meet the rest of it. You better meet the needs and expectations, or they will be looking for another supplier. What are the benefits? And boy, there better be some. Greatly improve customer satisfaction levels. We've talked about that. Provides a continuous improvement platform. We've talked about that. When you put in an ISO system, you are automatically putting in a continuous improvement process. There are only two things in an ISO system that are after the fact, which means it's not preventative. One is the internal audits, because you can't audit until you've done something, so it's after the fact. And the other one is verification or inspections of things going through the processes. Those are after the fact. Everything else is prevention. So we're in a good continuous improvement mode just by implementing. Now, it provides better opportunities for your company as a supplier, because you're going to wind up in a couple of short databases that says these are ISO certified companies. That's whether you want to or not, because there's a couple of companies out there that pull registration companies to continuously update their databases. Now, we're going to reduce manufacturing and service provider costs, because we're going to get more efficient and more effective as we use this system. We're going to reduce manufacturing and service provider costs as a byproduct. It's just going to happen. Now, our best practices are now documented. They never used to be. Everybody had to remember what was going on. People come and people go. Are you one of the newbies? or you've been there 100 years. Look around. When people come, they bring fresh ideas and new perspectives on how to do things. When they start doing a job that somebody else has been doing for 20 years, they're going to find different ways of doing it. So we document these new trends that they're bringing and new techniques that they bring. It helps us improve our processes as time goes on. Now, it's easy to retain current customers because we are in a prevention mode, we're in a customer satisfaction mode. We are also continuously looking to find out what our customers think of us. We don't just react to customer complaints anymore, but we actively try to find out what the customers think so we can precipitate changes as we need them going forward. We're trying to anticipate what's coming down the road. Now, if you don't have micromanagement, congratulations. If you do have it, hopefully this will lessen it. It certainly should, because there's no reason for people to be standing over each other, because you have documents now that people can use rather than have somebody hanging over their shoulder telling them what to do every minute of the day. And a big one is reduced employee training time. We are constantly training people. We're spending millions of dollars every year training people, only to have them leave. Okay, people are going to come and people are going to go. What's the best way to do it? Reduce the employee training time. We now have documentation. We can give this to a person. We can give the person a sample. We spend a few hours showing them how to do it, then walk away. Let them do it. Come back periodically to check on them. Number one, the babysitter is back producing. And number two, the person feels pretty good about what they're doing because they don't have a babysitter hanging over their shoulder. So it's much to our advantage to use this type of system. What are some of the advantages? Okay, here we go. Okay, we're required to focus on the core business processes, business issues, and customer satisfaction. And we have to establish a continuous improvement process. We're going to keep talking about this, so I guess it must be important. Okay, we're going to identify and utilize the expertise of the internal staff. That's where we get our knowledge. The people that work for us. They are the ones that know how to do it. They are also the ones that know how to eliminate non-value added work. If you have 3 people doing the same job, let them decide how the process is going to work. Let them document what's going to be done. Get the 3 of them together, let them figure it out. Now, here's a big one. Encourage the use of the plan, do, check, act cycle. This is so important. If you guys do this, a lot of your problems are going to be solved. Now, pay very close attention. There it is. Make a plan. Try the plan. Verify that the plan worked or it didn't work. And your action is either replan it, redo it, and recheck it, and you just do it, hit or miss, until it actually works. It's trial and error. There's nothing else to it. Pretty exotic. Now, the next step is to contact Paul Frey at ISO Quality Consulting and set up an appointment to review your needs and expectations. There is no charge or obligation for this informal exchange meeting. You can give me a call at 954-732-1613, or if you'd rather, go to my website at iqc.bz, do some reading, come up with some more questions, and then give me a call and we can talk about it. I typically work the South Florida area. It doesn't mean you can't call for information. Even if we're not going to do a project, I can still probably send you somewhere where you might be able to get some more information or get some actual help. I'd like to thank you for watching this slide presentation. I hope it provided enough information for you to start making an informed decision on whether or not to become an ISO certified organization. Have a great day.